Hey everyone, welcome back to the B-Movie Bunker. Today we're looking at Man of Steel, the Superman basically reboot and origin story brought to us by Zack Snyder, the guy who did 300 and Sucker Punch. That alone should tell you that, if nothing else, it will be a visual spectacle, and it was. The special effects were incredible in this one. If you don't know the story of Superman, this is the origins, and they tell it in a good way where it's flashbacks to Clark Kent, aka Superman, Kal-El. It's flashbacks to his childhood interspersed throughout the movie, and I think that works really well with the way the story goes. The whole beginning of the movie, where a lot of it takes place on Krypton, I like how it had a bit of a feel to a sci-fi movie, but still being a Superman movie. It's kind of a mix of the two, and I think that worked well. And the acting, for the most part, I liked the acting. Russell Crowe, I think, was great as Jor-El, as Superman's father. I think he did a fantastic job. And big kudos to Kevin Costner and Diane Lane, who play Ma and Pa Kent. Costner, I've never seen him act this well before, ever. I've never been a big Costner fan, but I think he did a great job in this, coming across as compassionate, even when at times he's saying things that kind of make him sound like an asshole, but he's doing this all for the greater good, at least the greater good of Clark. Henry Cavill, he simply is Superman. He was perfect for the role, both physically and emotionally. I mean, everything about him screamed Superman. Amy Adams as Lois, I'm not disappointed in her performance. I think she was okay. I know some people complained about her. They think she was terribly miscast. Alright, I can maybe see some of their arguments. Some of them I don't understand, but the whole, well, all she ever does is, get into trouble and get rescued by Superman. He just constantly has to rescue her. Why can't we have a good Lois Lane like Margot Kidder was? Because Margot Kidder never, ever had to be rescued by Superman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me? Who's got you?
Or brought back from the dead. As far as how the rest of the movie goes, the score, Hans Zimmer's score, is beautiful. It is epic. It is moving. It is monumental. This man I don't know if I'd say he's quite John Williams, but he's up there. I mean, this was a fantastic score, and I think it works incredibly well with the movie. As I said before, visual effects, wonderful. I think that the visual effects were really good. I think we have some of the, if not the best superhero fight scenes I have ever seen on film, which leads to other problems, and spoilery a bit. You've got, these big fights happening, and I mean, stuff happening in New York, and at times it almost seems like Superman doesn't give a rat's ass about casualties around him. I don't like that aspect about him. Superman, I think, would have done a little bit more to try to minimize human loss of life, but that was sacrificed for the epicness of the fight, throwing through buildings and all that. I can forgive that a little bit. It still detracts from his character. However, there is the biggest thing, and this is a huge spoiler, so if you have not seen the movie and you don't want it ruined, this is a gigantic spoiler. The whole scene where he kills Zod. There are people who I think are justifiably upset by that. There are people who have a certain thing of Superman does not kill. He does not kill. He does not kill. I'm not entirely on board with that. I want to see where they take it from here. That will, I think, then affect how this whole scene played out. I think that Superman had to go somewhere else. He had to be changed for a more modern view. Superman he's a very old-time character, and the way he is very old-fashioned, and they had to do something to make him, I guess, more of a real type hero, and real heroes have to make those tough, hard choices. Like I said, I want to see where they're going to take this in the sequel that's already been greenlit, to see where it goes from there and see what they do with it. He could have shown, at the scene, I think Cavill as Superman showed incredible remorse, and I think his reaction was perfect, but it didn't carry through past that, and I think that kind of detracted from the act as well. But other cast members, I think the standout of this was, and I'm going to probably butcher the name, but Anya Trau, she plays Feora Ul, the basically second to Michael Shannon, who is Zod, who was pretty good as Zod, a little over the top at times, but for the most part, I liked him. But Anche Trau was just phenomenal as the pretty much merciless and just cutthroat and just cold-hearted soldier to the core as Fiora, and I think she was brilliant in this, and I would have liked to have seen actually more of a character like her. Overall, scale of 1 to 10, I mean, to be blunt, this is DC Comics. They've come up with some great characters over the years, some great ideas, but they fail a lot of times on execution. I think this movie fails a bit on the execution. Not horribly. I still thought it was an enjoyable movie. I liked it a lot. I can see and understand people who are hardcore Superman fanatics who are upset with the way the movie went, particularly with the killing of Zod, as well as the kind of lackadaisical nature of Superman fighting in Metropolis, and people being killed all over the place. But like I said, I liked it. I enjoyed it. If nothing else, I think everyone who has the least bit interest in superheroes, and especially the least bit interest in Superman, should see this to see for themselves what's going on. I mean, yeah, I spoiled a lot in this thing, so I mean, this one is for people who've seen it. This is more my commentary on the movie than the actual review. But I liked it. I didn't think it was perfect. I didn't think it was great, but I liked it a lot. I think it's by far the best thing DC has put out ever. And I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's better than the original Superman with Christopher Reeves. That one, and part of that is just, for me, because of the nostalgia piece, it stands out so much as that was the iconic Superman of then. And for when it came out, I mean, special effects, that was state-of-the-art, top-notch back then. Check it out. I want to hear more opinions on this. I've heard a lot of varying opinions, and I know there's angry opinions on both sides. There's ranting and there's raving. But I think it's a good thing because people are talking about this, they're discussing it, and I think that's good, and it will only lead to there being more of these types of projects, and hopefully success of Superman will lead to more DC projects, like maybe a Wonder Woman movie. Hey! Or Aquaman. Meh. I'd like to see him throw a polar bear at some hunters, that'd be nice, but that's all I got for this one. Until next time, you all stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks.